All right, we're live, late and live. I love it. 5 minutes late. That is just the way it is tonight, folks. Forgive me. I had to drop off soccer practice in JT Butler traffic, Jacksonville. If you're thinking about moving the area, think twice. Just kidding. Did you guys think twice? Welcome, folks. I got Joey and Kelly on tonight. My folks that I probably worked with you guys for at least a year until you finally made up your mind. You came, you hung out, you disappeared, and you came back. And then I'm like, where are you from? And you're like, we're in the Panhandle, but we're thinking about other parts of Florida, but we're from Atlanta. I don't know. Where are you from, man?
I'm from upstate New York originally, but I was in Atlanta when I was a kid. So I guess I claimed Atlanta for the most part.
Okay. And Kelly, where were you coming from? Like, where are you from?
Born and raised outside of Cincinnati, Ohio, and then I moved to Atlanta.
Atlanta. And is that where you two beautiful lovebirds met in Atlanta?
Oh, we met, yeah.
Okay. In the burbs?
No, in the heart of Atlanta.
West Midtown.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Cool. You know, it's weird. There's two things I'm going to ask you guys tonight. And I love it that you're from Atlanta because I want to know your true opinion on my comments on this. But, you know, first of all, I have a lot of folks moving from Atlanta down here to Jacksonville. And Jacksonville might as well be an extension of Atlanta. And maybe you can disagree with me on that. And then another comment I've made is that I think Jacksonville is going to turn into Atlanta in the next 10, 15 years. So first off, welcome to the show, guys. Sorry, I didn't even give you a proper intro. For anybody who's watching, these are good friends of mine that, how long has it been since you guys started your first build down here
We probably met about almost like 2.5, 3 years ago, something like that.
2.5, 3 years ago. So anybody who's watching this and realizes that real estate, you just turn around and make sales like in a day or two, listen to me, 2.5, 3 years with these people. And guess what? They're building their second home already. It's not their first home, second home. You guys are crazy.
Well, it wasn't expected. So.
Wasn't expected. Growing family. Okay. So anyway, you guys decide to move from Atlanta to Florida. Where do you move to first?
Yeah, so it's kind of like beginning of COVID, and like my job went remote. She can kind of work from anywhere, and so we were like just thinking where we wanted to go.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily know if it was going to be like temporary or permanent. We got the baby monitor going off here, so one of us might have to step away. But basically, yeah, we could go wherever we want. We knew we loved the Panhandle. We didn't know how long we could move there forever, just for a little bit of time, whatever the case is. But so we just kind of went for it, moved to Santa Rosa Beach, like just at the top end of 30A, like a couple minutes.
Beautiful place.
Yeah. Favorite. I think it's like pound for pound, probably the best beach in the U.S. I think other people might disagree with that, but I think
it's one of the best beaches in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd agree.
People don't realize that about 30A, but it is called the Redneck Riviera.
Parts of it. You got to go a little south for that, but
okay.
Yeah.
How long did you guys live there, and then why are you living here in Nocatee now?
Yeah, so we were there for about a year, and we tried to make it work because we do really like the beach. But basically, as you can imagine, it's half a vacation, like tourist spots. So like around all the holidays, it's like unbelievably crowded, like can't really move. Traffic's horrible. And there's, a lot of them in summer holidays, I guess. And then also like much when it's not peak season, it's like a much older vibe, like retirees, not really a great place to start a family, or I guess in Kelly's case, when she gets back, a business. So it was just like, knew it was not going to be permanent, and we were looking for a better place for both of those things.
Okay, so where were you looking at? I mean, we ended up in Nocatee, but where were you looking at? Where else in Florida? Just out of curiosity, because I can't remember. Because I know you were checking out other areas, Lakewood Ranch, maybe Sarasota.
Originally, actually, we were looking in Orlando. I had a close friend in Orlando and spent some time there. We were just trying to get to Florida. We want to stay in Florida. I think we knew that.
Yeah.
And so actually, I was playing some golf, and I happened to drive by like Laureate Park in Lake Nona. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
That was like our first look at a master plan community. We drove through. And we're like, what is this? We'd never seen it. There's kind of Peachtree City outside of Atlanta is kind of a master plan community, but this was the first time we were in one. Just happened to drive through. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So spent some time there looking around. Actually, I think we put an offer in a house there, but that was when the market was absolutely crazy. It was
in Lake Nona.
Yeah.
Okay.
in Laureate Park there, and it was like
Yeah.
4 or 5 offers. You're going way above asking, waiving inspections, kind of the whole thing. So it just got crazy, and then we were like, maybe this isn't actually the right fit. So we checked out Tampa. A lot of my friends moving to Tampa, getting out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Kelly didn't like it. We checked out Lakewood Ranch, which is another master plan community. That felt much like bigger and like wider and older as well. A lot better, but good golf there, I guess, but wasn't high on Kelly's priority list. So she did, we found Nocatee, like through your videos actually. And it kind of had the best of all the different worlds. It was like, very like safe, which was good coming from Atlanta and like not being in the city. That's like, I think a lot of times people overlook the safety aspect of things. But you appreciate it coming from the city. Like family oriented, like got right in. I think one of our first days here, when we were checking out, was like a food truck Friday or whatever, and kind of like amenities and everything like that. Again, very family friendly. You're like super close to the beach. It's not as nice as the Panhandle Beach, but still okay. And then the whole thing is just kind of like in nature, which is really cool. So it checked a lot of boxes, I guess, for that. And then on the family side, and then on Kelly's side, she's a pediatric speech therapist, and she wanted to start her own practice. And I think talking to you when we first moved here, you're like, hey, there's 12,000 homes, something crazy here, like 2+ kids per home. It's a great spot for her for that as well. So
and we're gonna talk about that a little bit more, because I've done previous shows on a lot of the needs here in the area, and that's very amicable, because just like I've mentioned before, a lot of entrepreneurs are moving to this area, and we have so many needs because we're growing at such a massive pace. So I definitely want to dig into that. Just really quick though, before I go there and completely leave Atlanta, why not a Peachtree? I mean, I know I do have people that have moved from Peachtree actually to come work for PGA here in the area. I know you're a big golfer.
Yeah.
And so I've heard it's amazing. I've driven past it. Why not consider that area? Why come all the way to Florida?
Yeah, well, we never actually like checked it out or gave that a real chance. I think for me, it was like I wanted to get to Florida. I wanted something like warmer weather, taxes. I'm not super political, but like Atlanta's kind of a mess in that aspect, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so, I think of all those like the combination of the weather and taxes and all that made more sense for us down here.
Yeah.
I do have some friends that love Peachtree City. It's kind of the same golf cart vibe, a lot of actual golf, plus just kind of like, a little bit of Nocatee as well, where you can just get wherever you need to be.
Yeah, I've heard wonderful things about it as well. Although I heard some places are pretty expensive in there, but we've gotten kind of pricey too. So it's all relative. So you come over to this area, you guys came at least 2 or 3 times. We met up at least 2 or 3 times.
To make up our minds.
Yeah, no, and that's a tough choice. You picked all great cities, right? I mean, Orlando is the fastest growing city in Florida right now. It's actually, people say, oh, well, we're getting crowded here in Jacksonville or even in St. Johns County. I'm like, dude, are you kidding? Have you been to Orlando? Have you driven on I-4? So it's all relative, but it is one of the fastest growing areas. And then, of course, Tampa as well. So, I mean, I'm sure you're not alone in those choices. A lot of folks do the same thing. Did you ever visit Lakewood Ranch in Sarasota or West Sarasota?
Yeah,
What'd you think of that?
We popped down there. I don't know if this is true or not, but it feels like maybe like spatially twice as big as Nocatee. Like everything just felt like so
It
far.
is. Yeah. It's 2 or 3 times bigger than Nocatee.
Yeah. And then it just didn't really feel like as much of a community, I guess. Like they had their little hubs and everything like that, but just it was so big that you didn't really get the same vibe. And then it did feel, again, I don't know if this is true, but it did feel much older, like not as like kid family friendly.
Or retiree maybe.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, you like golf. Lots of golf in that.
I lost the golf that if you had like a pros and cons list, I have one if you want to go through one later. That was just like, that's the biggest, I think, in my mind. One of the biggest cons of living here is like golf cart, everything, go wherever you want except the golf course. Doesn't make any sense to me, but
you mean having a golf course in Nocatee?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but you're a member of one of the nice clubs in town.
It's 35 minutes though, so it's like you got to pick
to Marsh Landing.
Well, we're down in Seabrook, so like bottom-ish end of Nocatee, and like just getting out of here, to get to Nocatee.
15 minutes. Yeah.
10 minutes. So everywhere you kind of far. But.
Okay. So you guys were at Design Center today, your second build, which I'm so glad I didn't have to go to design center with you, and I have somebody to go with you and hold your hand.
Brenda was excited to see us, so at least somebody was.
Yeah, Brenda's sweet, isn't she? Awesome. She's
Yeah.
such a good spirit. I love her. I'm so blessed to have her because, I mean, you're a guy. Did you really want to sit there for 5 hours today?
It was tough. There's like 3-on-1 too, just like her to wrap everything. So
yeah. So you went to design center on your, what's that?
So I held my own. Kelly's welcome back.
Yeah. I mean, second time around, okay, first, before I get into the build, because you're building the second time with another builder. So what a great couple to talk to. I mean, what, 2 years, second build, design center again. I mean, most people would say you're bonkers, but then if I told them other things about you, they'd be like, yeah, they're really bonkers. But anyway, but back to the scenario, and I don't remember this because it was so long ago when we started looking. How did we decide, or why build then resale? Did we look at we didn't look at resale as much with you guys, or did we not?
Not as much. I think we're also kind of like picky and like want to be able to like do all of our things. It's kind of fun. First, this was our first house. Like, so it was like just kind of like a cool thing to be able to do. And then the idea
built
of
your home from scratch, go to design center, pick everything out. Could you give folks, people watching this and recording, or people live watching this, like what you felt like the experience was going through it the first time? Were you like, maybe we should look at some resales, honey?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Like, I imagine for other people, it was like it could be overwhelming. I think like really got into it. It was like you gave us a really good lay of the land, where it's like, here's the builders, here's how the floor plans work, here's how the lots work, here's how the structural options work, and the elevations, all the things. And so we just kind of threw ourselves in it. And
so you're saying I made it really easy for you as your real estate agent, correct?
I think so. Yeah.
I did not pay them folks to say this. By the way, we have some people watching tonight. Thanks for the comments. They're probably your mom and dad and your sister. Hudson, who's that? Your cousin? Gray's on canister. Thank you for watching, guys. Hello. Thanks for being on tonight. If you have any hard pressing questions, please throw them on there on the comments. I will make them answer. No, I'm just kidding. Only intelligent questions, please. All right. So the first build you built with a local builder. Actually, you're building with another local builder again too, which is interesting. Do you remember why we went with that builder? And I always say we, like, because I always get so involved in these builds. It's a 9 to 12 month process. We had to fight at the end to get a new driveway. We did. That was a win. Tear up the old driveway. Greg, I'm not closing on this house until we get a new driveway. Just so you know, folks, there are battles in building. That's why you want a real estate professional, because you need an advocate. What's that, Kelly?
You're jumping the gun.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Kidding. We'll get there. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. All right. So tell me, how did we pick Riverside Homes? Was it the floor plan? Was it the lot? What was it?
Yeah. So I don't want to keep talking, but I'll throw my 2 cents in. So I think the one thing, and maybe we're gonna talk about this later, of like what we would have done differently, or like we're trying to think through that a little bit. And it wasn't a ton, but the one thing was like timing. And so for us, it was like, we're moving to this new place. We didn't know if we were going to like it. So we were like going to rent first. And we didn't know how her business was going to turn out, all these different things. And so like, we were with you for a year or whatever, trying to figure it out. And so for us, we were in this weird stage where Nocatee's almost coming to a close. Seabrook phase 1 had almost like run out of lots. Reflections didn't exist yet. No one really knew when phase 2 was going to start. And so we were like, didn't have enough time probably to wait till phase 2, because we were thinking about starting a family and all these different things. And so we kind of got the end of phase 1. And I know you say this in all your videos. It's like the lot. And so for us, it was like, there was only a couple of good lots left. We're on the preserve. Decent. Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're good.
Yeah.
But
good lots left at the time. And so we had narrow choices, I guess, when it came to the builder, but we still had a couple options with a few others, and just felt that, the one we went with made the most sense from a layout, lot, cost, I guess, perspective. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what would you do differently? You got my curiosity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We were trying to think about it. There wasn't really much. I mean, I think we would go bigger, which is, given,
told us to.
given some of the circumstances now, we wish we would have, but we're getting another
You know,
chance.
let's talk about that for a minute, honestly, guys, because let's be real here. You building your first home, young couple. I believe you got married somewhere in that. I've been through so much with you, I can't keep track because you went from Atlanta, Panhandle, marriage, babies, houses, buildings, second build, blah blah blah. Like, I consider myself quick in making decisions, but man, I feel like I've known you guys for ages. Like now, it's like so. Forgot the question now.
We were saying we'd go bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, you said you go bigger. And the thing is like, I hate overselling somebody, right? I hate people. I'd never want to put people in a position where you're feeling stressed out or house poor, because that's not going to do me any good if you're freaking out over every little thing, about that. And I always want to make sure people feel comfortable. And it was your first build. But in retrospect, yeah, that upstairs second floor probably would have done you some good right about now.
Yeah,
but would it have been enough? Would
Probably
have been
no.
enough to stay?
No.
No.
We're fortunate to be in the situation that we're in with being able to get out of this house and into another one, and the timing all worked out. So it's hard to complain really about anything. So.
I don't know what was said, but like we wouldn't have done it if the circumstances weren't what they are.
Yeah.
We would have stayed in this house and we would have been happy here and we would have been able to grow. But I think that in hindsight and knowing what we know now is like better to.
Yeah. We had a 5-year plan that now has turned into like a 10, 15-year plan. So it's all.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're gonna be in a lot of houses. I mean, I've been married 13 years and we've bought 7 properties together. We haven't lived in all of them, but some of the investments, but we've lived in a lot of houses. So yeah, it's crazy because we went from a tiny little condo on the beach to our dream home, we thought, and we were barely in our dream home for not even 2 years, So it's funny how life takes you that way. Second time around, what's different this time? This time you went with another local builder. You almost went with Toll Brothers, but if you don't mind me saying, you went with Dostie Homes, which is one of my favorite local builders in town. They build a really nice product. That was a tough choice because, again, we were hemming and hawing over lots and then floor plans.
Yeah, a lot of it was lot again. I think the couple we were between Toll Brothers and Dostie. It came a lot of it. Those were like the last 2 good lots on
good lots.
Yeah. And so it was really tough, but I think Dostie seems I don't know. Toll Brothers is a great builder. I don't know necessarily as much as you do about them, but they definitely are like a national builder that have kind of more like cookie cutter ish type options, and we had some. Yeah, I think Dostie's had a little bit more flexibility and included a little bit more and a couple of those kinds of things, and we've been happy so far.
And even with going into did you say we had our design meeting?
You mentioned it.
Yeah, so when we had our design meeting this morning, it was even like different and so much more. Like we were able to customize things. Like we mentioned something that we wanted, thinking that they would be like, "Oh no, we can't do that." Where they're like, "Yeah, absolutely. Like we can make you that cabinet, or we can." There were a couple things where I was like, "Oh, okay, I don't think that would have been."
Yes. So people are asking in the comments, what are we talking about? We're talking about their experience from design center visits, from going to a design center visit with Dostie Homes, which is a semi-custom local builder, and then a national builder like Toll Brothers. And they've had the experience of at least going to another design center from the first build. But Toll Brothers does not allow any changes. When you buy a Toll Brothers house, they won't put an extra window in. They won't move the door over. They give you set structures on what you can do, and that's it. They won't go out of the parameters, where I understand Dostie will do certain things for you. Is that correct? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, we've been surprised with how much they'll do. So
yeah. And what did you think about, I mean, you did Riverside Homes. What did you think about the design center today compared to last time?
Yeah, it's tough. Just because I don't know how deep you want to get into it, but like all the levels are different across the builders. So like a level 3 cabinet with Riverside might be a level 2 with Dosty, or the level 5 quartz is this. So it's like you're in there, it's kind of a little bit of a war zone. It's like similar-ish, like on like the like high-end-ish.
Well, we lost him. Yeah, so just to fill in and piggyback what they're talking about, and let me add them back here, just to piggyback off of what they were talking about. Dosty is a high-end builder, and I think they cost a little bit more probably as well. You do get certain things with Riverside Homes like smooth walls. You get that with Dosty as well, I believe.
There's a lot that seemed to be included with Dosty that we upgraded for before.
Yeah, like closed drawers we upgraded with Riverside, but that's all included.
Soft closed drawers in the kitchen, in the bathroom, and the bathrooms.
Yeah, they said all cabinets.
Oh wow, okay, that's pretty good.
And then like our countertops are like the thicker 3M, I think they said.
Okay.
But they're a little bit thicker, and with Riverside, that was an upgrade. With Dosty, that's standard in the kitchen.
Okay.
Little things like that. We'll see. We're not finished, but
yeah, I'm sure you pay for it one way or another, probably. But it did seem like a lot more was included.
Well, that's the thing, guys. The thing is that okay, you may pay a little bit more for the home. Dosty homes definitely cost a little bit more, but you're getting more, and it's less choices where you don't feel like you're being upcharged as much. And I almost kind of like that, because when I went to go to design center and I wanted to shoot myself, because I'm in the business and I've been to design center meetings, but now I have somebody that goes with my customers to do that, so I don't lose my mind. But when I do go in, there's so many decisions to make. And as a guy, and being as frugal as I am, I stopped using the word cheap, but as frugal as I am, it's like every little thing was an upgrade, and that's how they make their money in design centers. So when you're like, well, yeah, the Dosty home's costing more, but I'd rather just know what the cost is up front and what I'm getting, and not be like, oh, okay, you want wheels on that car? Well, that's going to be another 25%. Well, can I drive the car without wheels? No. Oh, okay. So do you want like bicycle wheels or car wheels? It's a car. I'd like some car wheels. Oh, well, then it'll be 33%. Well, it's not that bad. But you get my point. By the 2-3 hours in, my head's getting red and hot. And I'm like, and the whole thing you do when you're in design center is they say, go ahead and do what you want. At least at the end, we can take away to get within your budget, right?
Yep, 100%. And it is a lot. Like I don't know if other builders are different, but the ones we had, it's like you get 6 hours basically, and you have to make every decision within those 6 hours. And Dosty at least breaks up into a couple of sessions, but it is like decision paralysis.
It's overwhelming. Yeah. Did you feel like you were a little more equipped this time, obviously, because it was the second time around?
We were joking today. The first question they asked us was exterior color palettes. And we started at 10:30, and by 11:15, we hadn't picked an exterior color. So we had to make up some time in the back half, but we made it work. We did. Yeah.
Because in the interior, we knew what we liked, and we had a good idea of what we our vision for it. And we just kind of had to see what Dosty had to make that vision happen.
So you went in there strong, second time in, totally prepared, and they're like, so what is the exterior color going to be? Oh.
Weren't ready for that one.
Well, and they had 50 options. I was like, I feel like Riverside, maybe I'm wrong, but I remember Riverside only having a select amount. And so we just picked it quick. But yeah, there were so many.
Yeah. 45 minutes. There's a slightly gray blue version of white. So that's where we ended up.
My wife says I'm colorblind. So she's like, what do you think, honey? And I'm like, I like that one. She goes, oh no, I can't do that. I'm like, so why did you even ask me? Did that go on, Kelly, or did you know? Like, did you just run the? Did you just?
He was a little more picky with it. I was like, just do stark white. Let's stark white, blue door. We're good. And Joey's like, picking out the colors. This one's too grayish. This one's too beige.
There's a lot. Listen, there's a lot going on in those rooms. Like you've got the build, like the design center rep. You got Brenda. You got Kelly. There's a lot of opinions. You know what I mean? It's like you just got to figure it out.
Too many cooks in the kitchen is what you're saying?
With the end product, well, we'll see when it comes to the house, but he picked a great color that I think we're going to like. So.
You know, honestly, since I don't go to Design Center with you and Brenda goes, I actually look very forward to seeing what you guys pick. So when I'm doing the video updates or walking through your home, you know me, it's very hard to hold my opinion. So I'll be like going through with my video for some of the folks out of town, and I'll walk in and I'll be like, and this is the master. Oh, sorry, I stubbed my toe. And I'm really looking at the floor going, I hate that paisley crap that everybody's doing in the laundry room. It's so busy. It's going to go out of style next year, and everyone's doing it. Let me guess, you did it. The white and black, like, you know.
Yeah. We didn't do our flooring in the laundry room yet, so we'll take that into consideration.
Oh, so you're going back again tomorrow?
Next week, next Thursday.
Oh, next Thursday. Oh, so they're really splitting it up.
Yeah,
I love that because most builders will make you go back to back, and it's so overwhelming after the first day that you really haven't had time to think about everything. But now you really have time to soak in everything, and your mind's going to start working, or you'll see some other things. So when you go back in a week, it allows you to digest and clear your mind a little bit before you go right back into Design Center again.
Yeah, and I think hopefully too we'll get some of the cost estimates back, so we'll know like halfway through where we're at, and I don't know if that's going to change our mind or anything, but it's just like another little data point to have.
Yeah, because you guys are not building a cheap home at all this time. Sorry, Joe, I don't want to remind you, but yeah. Whew, commission's going to be good on this one. Geez. Thank goodness it's the second time around. I earned it 3 years later.
We're not moving, I'll put it that way.
I've heard that one before.
It's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. So Kelly, you missed this because you were running to deal with the newborn or the baby. How old's the baby now?
11 months today.
Oh, it's not really newborn anymore. Time flies. Oh,
it's crazy.
She's adorable. Okay. So I was asking Joe why you guys moved here, whatever, and part of the reason was because it was a family-oriented area. Joe's right. I think we average at least 2.5, 3 children per household. And you have tell me exactly what it is that you do, because that's one thing I love about Nocatee that I want people to know that's watching this and recording is that it's amazing how many people that live in the community that we actually do business with them. Oh, people go on the some of the Facebook groups or whatever. Oh, use them. They live here. Use that pool person. They live here. And we do for the most part. So was that a major contender for you considering? Tell us what you do exactly. And then if that was a major thought in your mind as well.
Yeah.
I know Joe wants you to make money, but I was wondering about your actual care for your career. Joe's like, yeah, you told us lots of kids there and I needed her to make some money, honey. So we were like, that'd be a good place for her profession.
Yeah, so I'm a pediatric speech language pathologist, so a speech therapist. And I have my own practice that I currently go into families' homes, daycares, and schools, depending on the school. And like, I don't go into public schools. And I just go all over the area. Currently, I'm everywhere, I feel like.
You're not just in Nocatee area, you are all over.
No, I go Joyenton Creek, Ponte Vedra Beach, Palencia, Nocatee. So I go all over, and I can see a plethora of delays or disabilities, and but my specialties are speech sound disorders, early intervention, and childhood apraxia of speech. So those are what, like I said, I specialize in, but I see a bunch of families and kids. I go into daycares, I work with their teachers. It's just me currently. So yeah.
Best way to be. Just kidding. It's just not fun.
We're going to figure that out pretty soon, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. Is there a particular age category or a certain age of childhood?
So technically I serve anywhere from like birth to 18, 20. I can kind of choose, but
18 to 20-year-olds?
yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Anywhere from 0 to 18.
Okay.
Works, but the average that I see is probably around like 2, 4 elementary school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how does that work as far as maybe I'm asking too much information. I don't know, because I did a video with somebody that I introduced to you in the area about children on the spectrum. I think I get a lot of families reaching out about how's Florida with support systems for children with autism or on the spectrum. And that video has got thousands of views. I mean, it's awful to hear some of the stories, people reaching out to me going, how is the support there? How does it work? Are you working with insurance carriers, or how does that work? Or are you just independent? How does that work, if you don't mind me asking?
I currently am not in network with insurances. From that standpoint, I could provide something called a super bill that families can submit to their insurances, and I explain that to them and how kind of that works for the most part. But it all depends on like who your insurance is, what your policy is. But so I've had some families that have gotten reimbursed for their out of pocket, so they pay for me out of pocket.
Yeah.
So I have had families that have gotten reimbursed for that.
Mm-hmm.
Some families, it's just not worth it to do it.
For all the trouble, the claims and everything. Yeah.
However, I don't know if Amanda, I'm sure she mentioned this, but there's an amazing scholarship in Florida for kids who have there's so many diagnoses that qualify, but it starts at 3 years old and goes up, I think, till 21, I think the age is. Mm-hmm. The Florida Step Up for Students Scholarship for children with unique abilities, and it's thousands of dollars for families, and they can put that towards their therapy. So I am a provider for that, and I recommend it to every single one of my families, because any child from something like a lisp all the way to like my nonverbal autism kids can partake in the scholarship. It's a really great opportunity, especially since I'm currently not in network with those within this. So
I'm finding a lot of providers these days, especially with modern and preventative medicines, they're not as expensive as a provider that's on a network, and it's just cheaper sometimes to pay out of pocket than it is even to do a copay through your insurance, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, how much time do you find you're spending with some of these children? Like, is it once a week? Is it every week? I mean, and how long of a period? Is it a long period of time, or how does that work?
It just all depends on what the child that I'm seeing, and it depends on what they're presenting with. So, but typically my average kids I see twice a week for 30-minute sessions. That's my bread and butter. That's where I see the most progress. That's where the amount that I see the most. Do I see kids once a week? Yes. Do I see some kids more than once a week? Yes. But the average is twice for me, 30 minutes each.
So now I know why you're married to Joey, because you're very patient, loving, kind, passionate, and he's really his speech has become a little more eloquent in the last 2.5, 3 years. Just kidding. Yeah. Awesome. I'm going to put, if you want, I want to share your information in the comments, because I think everybody, not everybody that's moving here or people in the neighborhood know that there's people like yourself that are accessible to help out in those situations. And I think once you guys are here long enough, and Kelly, word gets out of how amazing you are as a person, just getting to know you guys has been such an honor for me. Besides, that's what makes this business fun, is actually when you like the people. that you're dealing with. And luckily, I've been to that stage where I don't have to deal with people I don't like anymore. And so it's pretty fantastic. It took me 10 years to get here, but I would definitely get the word out about you and definitely put it in the comments so that anybody wants to reach out to Kelly for any of your needs in that area.
Please. And I love talking about my job. And so I love just even answering questions that you mentioned, the groups earlier. I'm in all these moms groups and I'm like, please ask me questions. I'm serious. Just give me a call. Ask me any questions. I just want to help as many people as I can. So
cool. Y'all have to share. I have your email, but I don't know if you have a professional separate email. I can put it in there, or a website or anything. I'll put it in the comments. Because more information makes better decisions. And when it comes to family, that's what it's all about. In fact, we left South Florida and have moved to this area, and we definitely feel like this is a family-oriented area. We're all in the same boat. There are a lot of children, specifically in St. Johns County and Nocatee for reasons for the schools. Was that any of the factors for you guys? Were you even thinking about school? I mean, you didn't really have kids yet.
Yeah.
Were you thinking about like down the road?
Yeah, 100%. I think like that was one of the St. Johns County was one of the big draws over. I mean, Sarasota, like Lakewood Ranch has good schools and everything, but that was one of like the big draws here, seeing all like the high rated schools and things like that. I think Kelly made a point earlier where it was like we were thinking like in the Panhandle, at least part of the reason we left there was like she's hearing kids have to travel 2 hours to go to their soccer games,
like a
and
regular
that kind of thing.
season soccer game.
Just because there's like not as densely, like not as many kids. So
yeah. Well, my old realtor that was with me who moved back, went to Georgia actually. She for job opportunities, but they were mentioning when they were in the Niceville area, the big scare for them, or it was another family, was that it was also their children needed special medical care and the hospitals were limited in that area because you're in a touristy area, so it's a long haul just to get to a good hospital, right? I mean, am I wrong?
Yeah, for sure. And like, there's a lot of other things.
I don't think there was like a children's hospital nearby. There was like one that had both. You could take your child there, but it wasn't like a specialty pediatrics.
Yeah.
I had a family there, and one of the daughters had something, and they would have to travel to Alabama to get her services. For something that she needed.
Yeah, it's one of those things you like overlook, us being in Atlanta and now being here with everything, all the hospitals around here and all the good stuff that when you're not in these.
Yeah, I mean, I just did a whole video about being close to Mayo. We visited a couple of hospitals for a big ordeal, and we were very pleased with the decisions we made and which hospital we went to, and we got to make that choice of some of the best hospitals in the world are right in our backyard. And then for children, having Wolfsons and all that, I don't think it's anything to sneeze about. But I think a lot of people that move to the Panhandle that have kids and families move there because they wanted the Florida lifestyle. They love, 30A. It's beautiful in the beaches. And then when you're like the everyday common stuff that's every day, I mean, you don't go to the beach every day. I mean, I go to the beach maybe in the summertime once a month. Of course, I work on weekends and all that. But it's a nice thought, but then the things that happen when your kid's sick or something happens and you want a good ER. I mean, I had to have my appendix removed in Amelia Island, dude, and it was. I hope he's not watching, but dude, not good. I'm sorry, people. Amelia Island is a very touristy, cute island. Do not get cut open there. Just leave it at that. Okay. I'm not going to get into my personal medical problems, but I pissed off a doctor that was from Georgia because it was a Georgia game on a Sunday on New Year's Day, and I had to have my appendix removed. And he came in, he's like, "Golly, I'm missing the Georgia game," and I'm like, they literally had to turn the lights on in the surgery room to do it. I'm like, am I sure I want to do this?
He's watching it in the OR while he was operating on you.
Probably, from what I see on the way they went in and came out and sewed me up. I was like, what the heck? But anyway, I don't know what it's like in 30A. Maybe it's better, but Fernandina Beach, Amelia Island. So, all right, so we're running really close to the end here, guys. Let's get nitty gritty. What would you tell me? Something you didn't think about, maybe you regret of moving to this area, or what's your pet peeves of Nocatee now? Because I mean, Nocatee's changed a lot even since when we met you guys. It's pretty much at the end as well here. I mean, they don't have down 60-foot lots. They're down to 50-foot lots are almost done. What do you think now? Like, what would be a value for someone else to hear, like a raw, unfiltered? We're 40 minutes in, so if anybody was really watching this, they were serious about it. If they're not watching it anymore, this is where you bury the good stuff.
Yeah. So I have a little pros and cons list here that we were talking about.
You can't talk about your neighbors. I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking. Go ahead. Pros and cons.
Yeah, so I think we talked a little. I'll start with the good stuff. So I think I talked about this before, but like safe. I think people overlook that. Like big, it's great area for that. Like I leave my keys in my truck. It's an old truck. Take it if you want, but I leave my. Like I don't have to worry about that in the same way as I did when I was in Atlanta. It's very like feels like a young kid, family centric. Like I don't know how it is maybe having teenagers or whatever, but like this kind of like 0 to 10, it seems like you really can't do much better with the water parks and the events and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
The school we hit on, the beach we hit on, the nature we hit on. So a lot of the things that we were looking for. And then some of the bad, which I kind of talked about as well before, but being where we are, it's like you're not close to anything. Like if you have to go outside of Nocatee, like you're going to be in the car for probably 25, 30 minutes, like getting to Durban, where there's some things, or beach walk, maybe like 20, 25 minutes. But if you want to go to St. John's Town Center or downtown, like you're in the car for 30, 35 minutes, which before I had a kid, didn't realize how big of a deal that was. Like didn't think about it really that much. And now it's like, yeah, the whole deal. So there just like aren't that many like great options, I think, in Nocatee in the same way that there are like in Durban or Town Center or whatever else.
Options to eat or just in general retail?
There's like a couple like fast casual spots, but like food bars, you have to go outside, like big box stores like Walmart, Target, those kind of things. It's all the things that like make Nocatee great and not as crowded and busy. But the downside of that obviously is you have to travel to get to those places. So
yeah. And I get that complaint a lot because you guys are all the way down on the southwest side. So you have to really come out of there. And I've had other people live in your community that complain about it and say, hey, will they ever open it up to Phillips Highway? And the answer should be no. And I hope they don't, because if you look at, I know you're looking at me funny, but your little safety thing you've been talking about, I'm not allowed to talk about it as a real estate agent, even though, hey, most important thing ever when you have kids is safety. Can't talk about crime, but you can go to this webpage and figure it out for your own. But, they did that in one neighborhood here in Nocatee, and they regretted it, that they gave access behind the neighborhood to Phillips Highway, and they had people breaking into cars for a little while and that kind of thing because it was easy access to get in and out of the neighborhood. In your neighborhood, you commit a crime and you're not from here and you try to get out of here, you ain't getting out of here, dude. You're going to have St. John's police officers shooting you before you get out of Nocatee. So
you're on 870 Ring doorbell cameras all the way.
Oh yeah, everybody's got a camera. Yeah, it's, you know what? It's like, reminds me, people used to say this all the time. What's that TV show where everybody looks the same and then all the parents? I can't think of the TV show. If anybody's watching this from, the show I'm talking about, but where everybody's got the Ring camera, everybody's got the Suburban, the typical quintessential American prototype of the happy family, white picket fence, blah, blah, blah. Though we get a bad rap, though. I think we get a bad rap. And I understand now some people are bitter because Nocatee has gotten so expensive. I did a recording for the next show talking about why people are leaving. And we get a bad rap. You'll read these message boards and say, oh, we're all stuck up and everybody has, an attitude. And it's not true. It's not true at all. That's such a generalization of a population of 25,000 people. Not everybody is stuck up. I think there's a lot of truth to the fact there's a lot of families here that people were just trying to do life. We all have a lot of kids. And some of the factors you brought up are absolutely true. It's not always convenient having to run out to Lowe's and Beach Walk and take 25, 30 minutes. So yeah, I get it. But then again, not many places you can jump on your golf cart and drive your kid to school in 2.5 minutes. It's a trade-off. So anything else that I'm missing that I should be talking about?
I would talk about that.
What was that? You guys wrote notes? I love
I
it.
just had a little thing. Yeah. She was talking about the golf. She missed the golf talk. But yeah, it's a bummer. There's no golf here.
Golf course in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Well, you got golf membership. Let's talk about that for a minute.
It's 30 minutes away.
35 minutes away. Yeah.
So that means you're not going there ever?
I try to get out there once a week. It's tough. The job, the kids, you know how it is.
You just got golf membership, Joey.
Life changed pretty significantly in the last couple of weeks. So
okay, yeah. Wink, wink. Congratulations on that. On that expanding family of yours. But the golf is, for all my golfers out there, I have to say, man, we do have good golf. Yes, it takes 30 minutes to get to a golf course at least, but we do have good golf, right?
Yeah, you could do a whole video on golf. Actually, you probably should. That'd probably get some views.
Yeah, absolutely. I think somebody asked me about it. I think one of the big differences here between South Florida and up here in Northeast Florida is that if you wanted to play golf in South Florida and good golf courses, you had to be a member, or you needed to be friends with a member, or if you lived in a specific, if you wanted to be, you would have to live in that neighborhood, or if you lived in the neighborhood, you had to pay for golf membership. Here in Northeast Florida, there's a lot of communities where you can live in the community and not have golf membership. Some of them you can play golf and not be a member, right? So you have a lot more options where it doesn't have to be outrageously expensive. You got a junior membership to a really nice golf club, right?
Yeah, for sure. It is getting it does feel like it's getting less accessible though in general everywhere. Like even when I was leaving Atlanta, I used to play rounds at local courses for $40 on the weekend, and by the time I left, it was 120. You know what I mean? It's just it's always getting more expensive. And here you could drive probably 30, 40 minutes and go to 7 or 8 different nice golf courses, but you're gonna pay $120 on a Saturday morning, and it's gonna take you 6 hours. Not really, but 5 hours probably. So yeah, it's one of those things.
It would take 8 hours, but okay, yeah.
They're not building as many of them as they used to be. You know what I mean? So it's just and a lot more people are wanting to play the games.
Does that also have to do with the fact that we're just becoming heavily more populated here in general? More players, more traffic, the whole 9 yards?
It's all of it. And they're trying to do, even in Nocatee, they've got a simulator bar, and they're those kind of things are popping up. So whatever you can fit in your schedule and budget and all those things, I think is good.
Okay. Yeah. I know simulation is not the same, but okay. It's not like getting out on a golf course.
They're trying, man. They're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, everything's going virtual. No one wants to do the real thing anymore. Everything's just pretend. Yeah. I'm pretending. Put your goggles on. Cool. I got to get back to the build thing. So the Dosty build is going well. Riverside build, we still haven't talked about any of the things you would advise people on the build process, because you're building your second home now. What would you advise people?
I think they can all be summed up and answered by get yourself a good real estate professional that understands the market and knows what's going on, because that gets you most of the way there. I'm kind of joking, but I'm also very serious. You really are kind of the expert for Nocatee. I'm sure there's people like you, but I think you'll run for mayor someday or whatever. But especially on the real estate side, it's there is a lot that can overwhelm you between all the things we talked about earlier: the lots, elevations, structural, electrical, design, inspections. So just having someone that understands that, I think, is really important. And knowing, I think you said this in other videos, knowing the right rep. So I've had family that's also looked to buy houses in here, and depending on which rep you get at a certain builder, you're getting a much different experience. The builder reps are nice, but if you didn't have a real, if you didn't exist, I would probably I think.
Yeah, you're very skeptical. When I met you, I'm like, this kid doesn't trust any realtor at all. It took a while to get to warm up to you, I think. Is that just in general, or?
I think most people would probably say the same thing that know me.
Yeah.
But anyway, the builder reps aren't your friend. That's you'll think they're your friend, but I guess if you didn't see both sides, you wouldn't understand. And so having someone like you that knows all this was really good. And then the leverage aspect, I think, has also been super helpful for us. Not to keep plugging you, but the leverage has been really good, because like I'm one person that in theory is only going to buy a home, every 10 or something years. Like they don't necessarily care a lot about me once I sign the contract, versus like you have these relationships and like you're bringing them a ton of business, and you can kind of, give everyone the scoop on what's good and what's bad. And so like we've had issues, whether it was during the contract phase, I wanted to get rid of a door or fixing a driveway that was ruined or extending a wall that they told us they were going to extend. Like there's things happen in the construction process and the contract process that like you feel kind of helpless if you're just one man or a couple on an island, versus like you do bring a lot of weight, or someone like you that does this brings a lot of weight and can help move those situations along. So
yeah, and I feel like just recently we've had a great experience with Dosty, but there was like a situation where we wanted a full wall outside, and they kept telling us that they couldn't do the full wall. They could only do a 3/4 wall. And we're like, but okay, that's fine. But why? Is there a reason? Is there a code? Like, is there a reason? And they just kept telling us, no, you can't. And then we got you involved, and they were like, okay, yeah, fine, we'll do the full wall. We're like, okay, so where's another person telling us no? Or yeah, like
they didn't get the wall, not through me. Yeah, they did. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, there's anything, it's called an umbrella policy, right? If you're doing a lot of business with a builder, not just you guys, but if I have 3 other builds going on that are all $1 million, you kind of want to make the realtor that's bringing all that business happy. So it just makes common sense. And sometimes you have to work through those things. They're not that easy. Like, we did have to replace a driveway with the first build because driveways have to be poured at a certain time of day, and it has to dry a certain amount. And if it's raining or this or that, and sometimes your perception of what a driveway may look like, the builder may say that's normal. And sometimes you need to go, hey, Greg, you look at driveways every day. Isn't that your job? Does this look normal to you?
Tire marks.
Yeah, so it's tough because there's so many homes being built. The builders themselves, the builder, the construction manager has so much going on. They can't be there for every aspect of the build for each vendor that shows up. So yes, it can get very messy. I tell people, and the more time I get, more experience. Like your first build, actually, in your laundry room. No offense, is that still is your mom watching?
Might be, we'd be careful, but
okay. All right. Does that bother you where the outlet is in your laundry room?
Yes.
Every time I go in my laundry room, yeah.
Okay. Can I just tell you, thanks to you guys, I went in when the electrician was building the next house, and I begged him to move the thing, and the electrician was like, yeah, man, no problem. And he moved it to the right side on my other customer's house because of you guys, and I knew how much weird it was. And it wasn't even a big, I don't think the electrician, even the vendor electrician, didn't even tell the general contractor. I was in there filming, and I go, is there much trouble just to move that switch to here? And he's like, no problem. So I have to thank you guys for that, because you didn't get it where you wanted it, but the next person did. I should tell that customer to let you know. But
we met them.
Yeah, we met them.
We talked to them on the boat.
Oh, you did? Oh, did you talk about that?
Yes, we talked about that. Yeah.
They were very happy.
So crazy. I can't believe you talked to them about that.
Because that was also the way that you fixed for them as well.
You're 2 for 2 on driveways.
Oh man, this is not good. We should end this right now. Yeah. So I think, well, that's why I shouldn't do customer appreciation events, because you guys get together and then have a cocktail and everybody's talking about their battle wounds from their 10 to 12 month build, right? And comparing notes. But it's true.
You fixed it. You came to the rescue. That's the common denominator there.
Yeah, as much as I can. I mean, there's so many aspects in a build that even I miss it. And I always say to people, that's why I bring my inspectors in. That's why you guys are looking at it. That's why I'm looking at it. That's why I try to put things on video, because I have people, when I send them their updates on their build and they're not local or whatever, some of them look at it 20 times. And you know who you are watching. I'm sure some of you watching and recording. And even so, I think it's even better, even for people that are local, to put it on video, because you have a record of what's behind your walls. It takes 10 times to go, wait a minute, I wanted an outlet in my pantry, or sometimes I've had builds where people didn't put a light over the bathtub shower, another light over there. I argued with one builder. I'm like, why would you even, that's not even, I literally said, I'm going to call the attorney and say that's illegal, because if they slip and fall coming out of the bathtub, they didn't see it because there was no light. That's your responsibility. I mean, I come up with some crazy stuff, but I mean, the builder will, if it's not on the design plan, even if it doesn't make sense, they will say, sorry guys, it wasn't on there. And then you have to fight for it. So that's what I mean when I say, you have to advocate for people, and no better person to advocate when somebody who's done a lot of builds and has a lot of builds with the builder to say, look guys, let's just get it right. It's one thing when these houses were $350,000, $500,000, but now they're 7, 8, 9 million, 1.1, 1.2. I'm like, come on guys, it's called customer service, for crying out loud. So if you're watching Dosty, take care of them. All right. I'm sure it doesn't make a difference. They're like, this guy's getting very arrogant. It's time to cut him off. Thank God it's a buyer's market. We need you. We love you. And life happens. Look, these guys didn't think they were going to be in a second house in 2 years. Has it even been 2 years? I don't even know if it's been 2 years.
We moved in a year ago, here in 2 days.
Yeah, plus the build time, a year and 10 months, and you're already
We signed that contract on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So.
Crazy to think. Well, y'all are the most beautiful addition to the neighborhood. Even though I didn't know, Joey, you were from New York originally. Doesn't show, but you grew up in Georgia. But you're a good balance to all the New York, New Jersey population moving in here every day. So thank you for balancing it out. It's been an honor and pleasure to get to know you and be part of this process and do it again. And we're going to do it a bunch more. I know we are. I know you don't want to hear that, but you are. And congratulations, your growing family. Any last parting words? Anything you want to say?
I don't think so. I think we echo a lot of that. It's been great working with you and calling you a friend.
You even have your family moving down here now.
It's all happening.
Yeah. I mean, how do you get your whole family to move down here? I mean, you're not the only ones. I mean, I have people with grandparents moving down here now. How does that? They just miss you, right? Or do they come down here and see what you have and go, oh, this looks pretty good? Or is it both?
Probably a little bit of both. Like I joke with my friends that like live up north or where other, like I don't understand why everyone doesn't live in Florida. Like, maybe it's just me, but like it's, why would you want to live in the cold or the whatever? I don't know. It doesn't get much better.
It's not just you. I get calls every day. It's snowing like crazy in New York right now. I mean, we were negotiating one deal and people are like, dude, we need to get this house. And I go, why? And they're like, it's snowing right now. We want out. And I go, okay, we can't negotiate with that kind of emotion. Chill out. Yeah, you're making my job hard for me. All right. Well, I could talk to you guys all day long, but I appreciate you coming on tonight. The move from Georgia to the Panhandle to Nocatee. I love having you guys as neighbors. I can't wait to see the finished product on your new Dosty home. Anybody's watching, I hope you learned something. I hope you got some tips from it about the area, about this lovely couple's experience. Absolutely, if you have needs for a speech therapist,
yep.
I'm trying to simplify. I simplified. I'm sorry. What do you call it? A linguistic simplistic? Oh, no, sorry. No.
A speech therapist is good, but the technical is speech language pathologist.
Speech language pathologist. Have a little more respect, Greg. We're going to put Kelly's information on there if you want to inquire, ask any questions. And actually, I'll invite you back, Kelly, to do a whole show on that alone. I think if it can help people, I'll do a video. So if you're watching, this is recording, you have questions for them or me, or you want to watch, I have a future video, you want to learn more from Kelly, I'll do one. Just let me know, put it in the comments. And of course, if you're thinking about moving the area, I'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. I'd definitely be advocating for you for that relationship. These people have become my good friends, my dear friends. I'll do anything I can to watch out for them in all interest of them fully. So thank you for watching, folks. And we'll be back on Tuesdays and next Thursday. And we're almost on Thanksgiving, not quite there. But if you haven't already, subscribe and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Take care.
Thank you.